Hello and welcome to India and Beyond. This is your host and host Gaurav Garg. So today we're going to discuss about latest trip of Rahul Gandhi ji, leader of opposition, to Tamil Nadu, wherein the elections are scheduled very soon. Uh, he has reached to a school, St. Thomas School, in somewhere in Noti or so, wherein he was interacting with young kids and the students therein. And I was just watching that video, and I found it to be very interesting to have a detailed discussion on that particular question which was asked by a young student therein. That video, that question, or that important question, I have uh, g- shared by way of shorts in my channel. The question was, in the era of AI and robotics, how uh, and what are the changes which should be there in the education system? That was the question which was asked to Rahul Gandhi, and the answer which was given by him was completely. I mean, I would say I was not able to understand what was the intent or what was the reasoning behind the answer which was given to young student. I would say probably that student might have got completely confused the question which he asked and the answer he what he got. So, as I have told you, the question was in the era of in the world of AI and robotics, what are going to be the changes in the education which should be there? So Rahul Gandhi ji gave a complete narration and idea what, or I mean of, he spread those thoughts which he has to speak in front of the students, and without understanding the question, and probably making the answer simpler to him to understand as a student. He was talking about production capability, manufacturing, respecting the respecting the workers who does work by their own hand, capability of India, im- you know the ability of China, the make in India, and all these things he was just touching base. So I have just pointed out certain things which I just wanted to share with you. He was talking about the production capability, that we are simply uh, having the IT companies, and we have to develop the productivity in the manufacturing sector. And I think that is the area or the core area wherein the government of India presently, or especially I would say, especially launching the Make in India initiative, wherein the Prime Minister himself initiated this very idea at the podium of Red Fort on the 15th of August. So, in the Congress regime from 2004 to 2014, there was a time when we used to listen a lot of news that there will be cycles, bicycles, uh, which will be manufactured by China, and those will be coming to India. Every small or the big thing was manufacturing in China, and manufacturing was acting as a manufacturing factory for the world. India being the neighbor of China, we used to import lot of material. Uh, Manufacturing was never allowed or facilitated in that way what the present government is facilitating at present. And Rahul Gandhi himself was making a mockery and the fun of Make in India initiative, which was initiated by PM Modi. So he was talking at length on these subjects, and without even understanding the root cause of not developing the manufacturing capability in India. Those were the time when we were pretty happy to have the call center in the back offices, and it was Indians were as working as a cheap laborer there in those call centers, merely giving the voice and accent training to Indian graduates and allowing them to speak in the American or the British accent was considered to be the achievement of the government giving the employment to the at large. I would say skill development was completely ignored. It was not even thought of properly, and the bureaucracy and the entire government functioning and the administration was in the kind of lethargic mode. There was no uh, process or the roadmap which can be thought of. The government of UPA was happy to introduce the Manrega scheme, the Mahatma Gandhi Rural Guarantee Employment Guarantee Program, wherein the villagers or the farmers or maybe the local laborer were given 100 days job guarantee. And that was a kind of platform wherein the huge corruption was involved, without even checking and without even verifying the uh, Aadhaar numbers or the any identity document of the workers there. And it is a prevalent fact and known to everyone and everybody out there that in 2000, when the UPA government was in the power, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, Rahul Gandhi, and Sonia Gandhi ji, they were visited to China, and a MOU was signed between uh, the details of which yet to be revealed. It's been more than 16 17 years by now, and there is no uh, public information available about that MOU. What was there in the MOU which was signed, and Xi Jinping was then deputy prime minister that time. So it was a caucus, and I would say that was, I mean, if I think what could be there in that MOU, probably the MOU could be talking about the growing influence of CCP or the China in Indian politics, Indian market, or Indian domestic consumption, and vis-a-vis there will be a kind of soft support from leftist newspaper, or maybe the media, or maybe the institution like JNU, or maybe the Jadavpur University, or any other university by such name. So a kind of cushion or support was extended or could be extended to the UPA government, becoming Rahul Gandhi ji as the prime minister of the country in the longer run. That could be the basic idea or basic premise of that MOU. I mean, I'm completely giving a guesswork to my understanding what I can think of about the interest of the Chinese people in Indian market and Indian democracy. So that was the scenario back in then. Now we are developing the Indian, the metro coaches here. We are building the ships here. We are indigenously developing the warfare system and the missile system here. We are inviting the foreign collaborator companies like Dassault, or the Saffron for jet engines, and we have already signed up a deal with the GE for engines, for jet engines. Those are yet to be delivered. So there has been a significant improvement over a period of time, especially after Narendra Modi took charge of the government, wherein the manufacturing has been seen as a sector where the potential lies there, and the GDP numbers is the evidence or demonstrating those numbers in actual, or in the fact sheet. For financial year 2025-26, the numbers of the GDP numbers will be estimated to around 7.4%. That's what I told in the previous conversation also. So all in all, Rahul Gandhi ji's response or maybe the vision is not that much large enough to understand and accommodate all the peripheries of the economic situation, manufacturing sector, and uh, the root cause of those manufacturing. I mean, why we lag behind the China, and when the economic policy was opened up, or the Indian economy was opened up in 1991 July. Uh, so we were not prepared enough to insulate the our local MSMEs or the local craftsmanship or the local businesses to the exposure of the globalization, wherein the foreign companies or the overseas entities will be coming into Indian market with huge pockets and huge funds. And in that scenario, our MSME sector was completely neglected, or maybe I would say overlooked. And ultimately, because there was a time, I wouldn't say that today is also the corruption is completely eradicated, but I would say marginally it has been come down. So those time where everything was allowed to be imported into the Indian market, and no manufacturing sector or the skill or maybe the manufacturing hubs were even considered to be developed. So there were ample opportunities wherein the bureaucracy, the government politicians, the corporator, or maybe any of the office bearer, they were seeing those opportunities as a money minting activities. So the import was promoted, and uh, the local manufacturing or the indigenous craftsmanship was jeopardized or the compromise. And look at the time when 1979 China opened up its economy, and they shoot up like anything. And after 1991 we are almost 10 years before, lagging behind, China. But the cascading effect of that growth or that late opening up of the economy resulted into 40 years lagging behind the China. But considering the democracy and the stable democracy at large, and the independence of the judiciary, probably it will be resulting a good, viable, and stable atmosphere wherein the foreign companies or the businesses can come and join the Indian hands, and can grow along with the Indian economy. Now, remember those days when in the Indian sector, there was hardly any of the mobile companies. One especially was Nokia, based in Shereperimbadur in Chennai, and any other company what we see today was not present. Maybe some of the component company might be there. I don't remember the details of those companies as well. But presently, you have all the mobile brands here who are working or manufacturing here. They got their factories here, they are getting the job work here, they are partnering with the Indian partners or the by way of JV, joint venture companies. And after the Doklam incident, there was a pause in the relationship between two countries. And uh, the government of India, the first was the COVID, second was the Doklam event, wherein the government of India, and after that, Galwan Valley. The three incident was a kind of lesson to the government of India to become ultra cautious with dealing with the Chinese. And that is why way back in 2020, way back 5 years back, so the government introduced the press note 3, wherein uh, any joint venture or any kind of business association having the Chinese shareholding changed or altered, that will be that first required to get the government approval at any cost. So that is where the government of India is taking its baby steps towards developing a ecosystem in India for mobile equipment or the mobile manufacturing or the component manufacturing. So that is going to be the stage where the government has to become cautious about other sectors also. You take an example of component manufacturing, you take an example of chip manufacturing, because the rare earth material which is required for manufacturing the chip is predominantly available in China. And government of India also creating an ecosystem, or doing some internal exercise to develop that ecosystem in India. Some of the raw earth material or the mineral raw material or the uh, rare earth material are the those stocks are available in India. Like we got some news that some of the stocks are available in Jammu and Kashmir. So all in all, I would say uh, the trajectory of the government at present is going to reach to a level wherein we can have the substitute, or would I would say the one plus one option, what Mr. Jaishankar used to communicate to the foreign players or the foreign platforms, that we are not going to the substitute of China. We are giving an option to the world economy that please come here and join us in the growth history of the India. And recently also, Indian economy has surpassed the Japan economy, and now we are at the fourth stage at present. So there is a surge in the standing what we were earlier at the beginning of the 11th, I mean, just before 11 years and at present. So next, the World Bank projected that India might be the third largest economy by early 2030. So the questions was asked by the student about AI and robotics, wherein the government has understood the value of this thing, and everybody knows that how the AI is having the impact on the uh, our daily lifestyle. Whether the course curriculum has to be upgraded, I would say yes. The AI and robotics are not an option. Those are the need of an hour. The integration of those topics into the course curriculum to make our students more educated, more aware about science technology, will ultimately or will eventually have the far reaching impact, which Rahul Gandhi ji was failed to understand about the question. So uh, that's all about this video. So I would request you to subscribe my channel and like and share it, and please support us. Thank you.